Hello, good day, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am so glad about it, and I hope you're glad about it too. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing. Subscribe to my channel today. And while you're at it, go ahead and scooch on over and click the like button. All right, today's topic, we're going to get into how to create your own church bulletin cover. Let's go. All right, here we are in the wonderful place of Canva. As you can see, I'm on the home screen. This is what you will see when you log in. You only need a free Canva account, so don't worry about paying for a subscription. You do not need that, and nor will you with any of my video tutorials. Now, if you see here on the left side, it says create a design. Let's click on that, and we're going to start with the size 11 by 8.5. This is the standard US letter size. We want it in landscape, so we're going to do that. Let's click on this here, and it's going to open up a page for us. Perfect. Now, if you don't see rulers at the top and on the sides, that's because you have to put that in on your settings. So you can do that by over here on the left, click on File, go to Settings, Show Rulers. See there? So you can add that if you like. I like to have it because I also like to do this. When you go up to the top, you'll see these double arrows. Click and drag down a line that's going to bring it down about 0.25 inches all around. I like to do this to make sure that nothing really spills over the border when it comes to text. So I just like to do this, and this is kind of a rough estimate. I'm not really getting exact, but it's close enough. You can tell, see. All right, so there you are. Let's do one more, and this one's essential because it's going to go right in the middle. Ta-da! You see that pink at the top? That's your indicator. Always notice that when you're looking for the halfway point. As I was sharing in my video right before this, these bulletins and brochures are very, very helpful in communicating information. And so what I love about bulletins is that they not only have some nice design, but they also entail a lot of information that's helpful. Okay, enough of that talk. Let's go over here on the left side under photos, and we're going to look for a beautiful, picturesque background that we're going to have on the cover. What is it that comes to mind when you think of something picturesque and something very appealing? You sometimes think of let's see, a bed of flowers. You might even think of maybe a scenic place. Oh, that looks pretty. Or you might even feel that you want a sunset, or maybe you might want a Bible, or you might want a cross. So there's many options here. Now, if you see the crown next to a photo, that means pro. So just know Canva will charge you if you use that. So try to find one without a crown. There's plenty of them in here. You can also use the filter up here. There's these 3 lines with the bubbles. Click that and click free, and then it's going to kind of filter out your photos for you to make it easier. Nice. Okay, so we've got so many options here. Oh, this is beautiful, and it's springtime. Let's go with that. Now, this is versatile, which is great about Canva's photos and bulletins. Be as versatile as you'd like with your pictures. Okay, let's stretch that out. So as you saw, I dragged it over, but I fit it within my frame, because this is going to be the front cover of my bulletin, right? Okay, great. Now this is a nice part where we already have the background set easily with the photo. The next fun part is going to be putting in the word art. So what we're going to do is obtain the scripture of choice that we'd like to have on our cover. As you can see, I did a little Googling, and I went to King James Bible online, and I found this scripture, Ephesians 4:32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you. So we're going to go ahead and highlight this and copy it. This saves us some time with typing. Then go back over to your Canva template, and then select Control V on your keyboard, because right-clicking and pasting doesn't work. So Control V on your keyboard, and there is your scripture. So for those who are in a rush, I'll say you can quickly and easily go ahead and just drag this over on top of your beautiful photo. Maybe adjust the font a little bit so that we can bring this out and it's more readable. I just went ahead and changed it to white, and I also made it bold. I'm going to go under effects here on the top toolbar as well, and we're going to play around with some of these effects for text to make it look a little bit better. Typically, the background needs a little adjustment to kind of blend in these colors, but that's the point of design. You don't have to. You can also adjust the font. So we have a shadow we can add here if we'd like, and we can see if that does some good. It does a little bit. We can also try this here where we add a lift. It gives it a darker background, and especially when we add more intensity, so you can see that a lot more clearly now. You can also add an outline of a color. So this is set to gray, but let's see what happens if we change this to pink, or we change this to purple, or we change this to lavender. You can see that you have different options here to bring that out. So already it is showing a little better. We're going to now go ahead and select that text box and select spacing at the top here, and let's give it some line space. Let's stretch it out some. There you go. Now this looks really great. You can add a scripture. You can add the actual scripture with another text box at the bottom. And this is again Ephesians 4:32. You can do that. And then you can, we're going to change the font, blend that in. And you can maybe also, let's see, maybe make this background just a tad bit less vivid, even though it's gorgeous. So at the top where you see transparency, this little checkerboard looking item, you can click on that and then just take this down a bit. Let's take it down to about 90, 85. Okay, so that's a way you can adjust as well to kind of just make something really quick and simple really quickly. You can also then duplicate this text box if you'd like, and then let's change this back to a font color that's going to match with the front cover. Let's see, that's got a pink color. Let's try this color picker again. Let's go with a lighter pink. Okay, and let's just make this a little bit smaller. And let's pull this down at the bottom here, and let's remove that effect since we really don't need it. And so now you have a nice bulletin cover template. This is a very simple one, but I'd like to share some word art so we can add a little bit more design to it if you have the time. But if you don't, that's okay. Simply go to share, download, and then download this as a file type for PDF for print. And this is going to download to your device, and you can print this right away. Such a convenient tool, free and accessible to you anytime. All right, let's move on to the next phase and let's do some word art. Now, what you'll see is I've broken out all of the different words and some phrases from the scripture. This is going to make it so much easier to do my word art. And so when you get a moment, you want to take one text box, type in the actual words, maybe 2 or 3 at the max, a single word. You want to just break it up. I personally did it where I can highlight some of the main words like tenderhearted, forgiving, God. And so I have that broken up in this way, kind of wanting to highlight specific words. So just again, create a text box, which you can do over on the left side, and then duplicate it and then type in the remaining part, and then just read it to make sure you have the full scripture. Now, before we do the word art, I am going to do a couple of touches on the background on the front cover because I still think that it's going to be best that it has a little bit more blending going on. So over on the Elements tab, what I looked for is the off-white gradient, and I'm searching for this because this has the option to change colors, if you can see on the top here. And I think that I want to go with a nice pink color, and I'm going to put this down here at the bottom and a little bit cover up a little bit of the photo so that we have some space for the words to be a lot more readable. I'm also going to double click on the background, and I'm going to take those bubbles on the ends and stretch it out a bit so that I can focus a little bit more intently on the flowers and not necessarily so much of what's in the photograph. So let's do this. Let's move this a little bit more over. Perfect for spring. We have our focus now on those beautiful tulips. Isn't that nice? So again, you can select that gradient and you can choose any color you'd like, yellow or green if you want, or a nice softer color like this one over here on the end. It's kind of a soft pink, or we can go with a more pink. I think I'm going to go with this nice rich burgundy color there. Perfect. Okay, now that we've got some work going on with the background, let's get started on our word art. Okay, what you see is that I've made some significant changes to the individual text boxes. I clicked on each individual one. I browsed over in the font section. I chose fonts that I thought would be most appealing, most attractive, and that would blend well together. As you can see right now, everything is kind of stacked on top of each other, and it's not necessarily that organized. So that's what we're going to do now. We need to organize and get everything to look seamless and to look really well put together. I also went into the effects tab again as well. This is a good tool again to use with really applying some style to your text. And so along with fonts and along with effects, you can really create something phenomenal. Now, let's get it all together now and let's blend it in and see what we can do. Well, friends, here is the final look. It looks stunning, and I can't wait to print this out. This is the wonderful thing about Canva and using its free features to create essentials for your church. I'll never forget how impactful it was when going to church and receiving beautiful bulletin templates with information about our church programs and the events to come, the birthday celebrations, the people to honor. And I've always cherished keeping these bulletin templates because of all of the great sermon notes that were captured at a wonderful service. I even let these great bulletins stay with me, and sometimes I parted ways by handing them off to strangers or to friends, inviting them to church, sharing the word and the notes. And so I hope that this tutorial was really exciting for you to see a great opportunity for you to use church bulletins and designing them in Canva for free, however you need to and whenever you need to. Be as creative as you'd like. All right, thanks so much for coming by to watch this great tutorial on designing a church bulletin cover. Now you have the tools, and now you know how you can design your very own. Without fail, let God's predestined gift work within you, for that truly is our life's purpose. And never, ever forget what is true, that God said your gift will make room for you. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And come on back, click around and check out the other tutorials. I'll see you next time.